In ancient Greece, Aeolus was the god of winds. Within his pocket, he carried a mystical bag containing the four winds. Boreas from the north, Zephyrus from the west, Notus from the south, and Eurus from the east. With a mere flick of his fingers, Aeolus could unleash his elemental forces, each bearing its own unique temperament, shaping the destinies of sailors on their perilous voyages across the seas. As the month of May envelops our village, the winds awaken with a fervor seldom seen. They meander through the grass fields and olive groves, rustling the silver-green leaves with their gentle caress. Summer has arrived early, and with it came a tempestuous windstorm, carrying the fine particles of sand from distant shores across the Mediterranean. It's fascinating how in moments like this, we catch a glimpse of the vast desert, a world that seems far away but now brought tantalizingly close by the capricious winds. The once vibrant white of the Asvesti of our recent endeavours with Soto now bear the subtle tint of yellow. But such is life. We can plan ahead all we want, but nature doesn't adhere to anyone's schedule. As Easter was getting closer and closer, my mother and I decided it was about time to start preparing a few Tsourekia. Tsourekia is a traditional Greek sweetbread that is typically prepared during Easter. It uses ingredients that are not allowed during the Lent, like eggs and milk, and it serves therefore as a delicious treat after 40 days of abstinence. One of the many secret ingredients is none other than the resin called masticha. Its fabrication and extraction is very particular, as it only grows on a special tree on the island of Chios. In order to use it on our brioche, we first have to grind it into a powder, and then we mix it with hot milk, along with a mahlebe spice made of grounded cherry pits. While cooking under our pine tree might have seemed like a good idea in the beginning, it wasn't long before I noticed some very heavy clouds coming our way. And so we thought it would be best to take cover. The weather has been particularly unstable the last couple of months, and since there have already been some early summer days, I was surprised to see a rainstorm at that time of year. But the bright side is that a fresh shower of cold rain helped to wash away any sun residue on the trees around us. As I wanted to make a few more Tsourekia this year for our friends and neighbours, I decided to multiply my recipe by 5. What I hadn't taken into account, however, was that the recipe I was using was already for 4 Tsourekia. So, to make a long story short, I realized I had bought enough ingredients to make 20 sweetbreads, which was slightly more than I had bargained for. As the thunder and rain kept chasing each other away, both my mother and I were on the lookout for the inevitable rainbow. Soon enough, it was time to bake them. After braiding them, we coated them with a bit of egg and milk and dusted them with a bit of brown sugar. And off to the wood oven they went. The next day was the Good Friday, the day of the Epitaph. In preparation for Easter Sunday, while the church bells tolled in reverence, I gathered some of the sweetbreads and decided to pay a visit to our neighbours. Of course, Maria was my first stop, and as usual, treats were exchanged. Easter cookies, red eggs, and many friendly chatters were all welcomed. A short distance away, I went back to visit Madame Caterina, who was tending to her amazing collection of vibrantly colored flowers. As the week kept pressing on towards Easter, I found myself yet again elbow deep into flower. This time it was for none other than our Easter cookies, our famous recipe we make each year, using the same old book with its worn pages and faded ink, to which some doodles and personal tweaks have been added. A testament to how long we have been using it. So I just finished making the dough for the cookies, but it's not time for the Epitaph. I can hear the church. So I'm gonna go meet my neighbor Alexia there, who's waiting for me. We're gonna walk around the village with the Epitaph. It's gonna be very nice. And then I'm gonna come back and finish making the Easter cookies. So now I'm just gonna go change to something more sober, and I'll be right back. For the epitaph, a richly adorned cloth icon is decorated with flowers by all the women of the village, and on Good Friday it is carried in a solemn procession throughout the village streets, accompanied by hymns and prayers, lanterns, and an overall sense of mourning. Once we return to the church, the epitaph is lifted, and every villager participates in the tradition of walking under the arch, believed to bring blessings and protection from the divine. Just came back from the church. I'm gonna start making the Easter cookies, and I'm gonna ask my mom for some help because I'm getting a bit tired, it's a bit late. Let's do it. My small plants have grown quite a lot in the last few weeks, and so it was time to replant them into a bigger pot. I was particularly surprised to see how many small cucumbers my plants were bearing. Just a few days to go before I can finally harvest them. A few more plants join our little household, some strawberries and cantaloupe, as well as cherry tomatoes. Remains to be seen which will survive the scorching summer heat. So you might be wondering why this door is still black. So I was planning on painting it blue as well, especially now before Easter, because we're going to have a few guests today. But there's actually a beehive that just came and installed itself in this tree right here. So it's actually quite dangerous to go anywhere near it, and especially since I'm allergic to bees. It's just probably not very wise to stand there and paint something, so I think we're gonna have to deal with the fact that for the time being we have a door that's half blue, half black, and eventually I'll paint it. And just like that, Easter came and passed. We welcomed dear friends and family, roasted the traditional lamb, and enjoyed a soft spring day with good food and good company. With Easter now behind us, summer is hastily approaching, and with it, the season of the fruits. See you all in the next episode.